This is Pat Soundbytes Unplugged. Unplugged, the podcast where all the artists go to tell it as it is. Careers, music, tours, and more. And here's your host, the man that refuses to eat squid, Pat Calamari.
Hey, Pat Calamari here, and welcome to Pat Soundbytes Unplugged podcast. Hope everyone is doing really well. If you're new to my podcast, well, thanks for coming on for the ride. If you're a regular listener, well, thank you. Hope everybody's staying safe and following the rules while we sit tight during this lockdown. I got a ton of good stuff going on. You got Pat Soundbytes IGTV doing a lot of Zoom chats. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Twitter. Certainly on Facebook. And now with this killer podcast. I can't thank you guys enough. And I have a Patreon page. Have you joined yet? Have you checked it out? You can be a fan club member in supporting me and following me on my killer ride. You can get early access to who I'm interviewing with. You can get a shout out on the radio station or on the podcast. And what else we got? We got exclusive video stuff just for my Patreon folks on the Zoom chats. And down the line, we're going to do some giveaways and maybe some questions and answers that you might have for some of the artists. So all really good stuff. If you're not signed on, what are you waiting for? Anyway, another great interview. We're going to do a video. We're going to do a Zoom chat with this band, Signal 13 and Vicky Starr, the rocker vocalist of the band. They have an EP, Destination Unknown, that came out in April. 5-song EP, really good stuff. Their kickoff track is called Dirty, which they do have a video. Yeah, we're getting dirty. Episode 69. I know all you horn smokers out there, you got dirty minds like I do. We talk about the band's name, Signal 13. I'm come from emergency service background, so that means a lot to me. At 1013 here in New York, in some areas, is officers down or needs help or assistance, and Vicky talks about that. Signal 13's been around a little bit in the Mid-Atlantic region. Baltimore Magazine named them Baltimore's best band. So they're the real deal. This is not a joke. They got a really good following, and they knocked it out of the park with five tracks on this EP. We'll talk about the title, Destination Unknown. We'll talk about the songwriting process. We'll talk about what's new and exciting, and had a lot of fun chatting with Vicky Starr of Signal 13. And I'm looking forward to doing a Zoom chat with Vicky and the band. Maybe get a song or two in there. We're working things out, and we'll let you know. So for now, follow the rules. If you like what I do, please don't hesitate to share and tell all your friends, and subscribe to my podcast. My download numbers are insane worldwide. Thank you. And as I always say, be safe and live, love, and laugh a lot, folks, because life is just way, way too short. Enjoy. Here is Miss Vicky Starr of Signal 13.
Hey, it's Vicky from Signal 13, and you're listening to Pat Soundbytes Unplugged. Let's get dirty.
WBXO Classic Rock Redefined in conjunction with Pat Soundbytes Unplugged podcast. A pleasure to be talking with rock vocalist Vicky Starr, the rock band Signal 13. Hello, Vicky in Baltimore.
Hello, Pat in New York.
How are you? How are you surviving these days with this whole lockdown thing?
You know, we're just trying to keep writing some music while we're in quarantine, trying to stay 6 feet apart, trying to have some fun, trying to play some more music to get ready to hopefully come out of this isolation group and at least be able to play some time on the radio and some time on Facebook Live for everybody.
There you go. Well, that was one of the questions I was going to ask you, but we'll get to that in a second. So, Pat's the guy keeping new music alive on the radio and on video, and that's what I do. And Vicky and the band released a 5-song EP, Destination Unknown, that came out in April, and it certainly rocks. So, Vicky, let me just start with what got you into music, and can you tell me about the moment you realized you want to be in a rock band, and the hell with everything else?
I can't even remember from being a small child that I didn't love rock music. My parents were into the Beatles and the Monkees, and they played all that all the time, so I think I learned how to sing at the same time as I learned how to talk. I just don't ever remember not loving music, because they played all that stuff, Led Zeppelin, they're playing all that, and it was just fun. And when I was a young kid in school, when I was in the 3rd grade, my 2 girlfriends and I went and met with the principal and had a meeting and decided we were going to give a concert to the whole school and sing to a record and dance and do all kinds of stuff. And at that time I said, oh boy, this is what I want to do. And here we are today, doing it still.
Good for you. Well, that's a cool story. I mean, from bottom right to the top, there's no in between. If you weren't in the rock band, what would you be doing?
Sitting at home, probably twiddling my thumbs, trying to think about what I'm going to do with my, with the next job in life, because it's just been a lot of work going on in this behind the scenes as in the music business, and trying to figure out in life where we're going. I would be sitting at home, twiddling my thumbs, watching YouTube and Netflix, wondering where my next life was going to be.
There you go. And probably writing great music, right, while you're at it. Might as well still keep on writing.
Yes, that's what we're doing. We write every day. It's a habit, but a lot of things never will make it to anyone's ear, because a lot of what I write during the day as an exercise is kind of garbage, because it's pretty funny. But I get a few good hooks out of it, or a few good phrases, and then that comes into being a really great song eventually.
I come from an emergency service background, 30-plus years in emergency service, and I see Signal 13, and here in New York, I know, and we have benefits all the time. We call them 1013s for an officer needs help. What's the relation to that? Let me just ask, is there a relation to that? What's the idea behind the band's name?
Everyone in this band either comes from a military, a police, or emergency responder background.
Yeah.
We wanted to dedicate our time and some of our monies to those different groups, and we have since day one. And we do various, we work with various fundraisers and various groups throughout the region that need money raised for fallen firefighters, fallen EMTs, police officers, canines, veterans, wounded warriors, military. We really support those causes, and that's where came from.
Excellent. Thank you so much. Great.
No, thank you.
Oh, man, that is super to hear. Giving back. There's nothing more than I love than somebody giving back and recognizing the importance of the folks that are out there. Even today, these essential workers on the front line fighting every day for us to... I'm afraid to even go out anymore, but we'll be out sooner than we think. Vicky, how would you describe the music of Signal 13? I like the fact it's high-octane rock and roll. I don't know where other genre. There's a blues in it, I think, on some of the tracks. I got a little bluesy influence. A little Motley Crue, a little Joan Jett, a little, Tell me, how would you describe it?
We consider ourselves, when we started writing this music, we said the songs are going to tell us what they want to be. And we all have influences from various guitar players, various bands, how we like music, things of that nature. And the principal songwriters are John Lassery's lead guitar player, Pat Jenkins, who is the bass player, and myself. And when we started sitting down writing, when people say to us, what is it? We went back and said, when was music super fun that you never thought? And if you go back and you look in photos and you look at concert footage, and then some new music just, came out, and we're like, maybe we'll focus on modernizing the 80s rock and modernizing things of that nature, and start moving forward with seeing how we can modernize that sound to make it fun again. Girls like to dance. People want to come out and have fun. Try to forget your problems, and that's what we're trying to do here with that.
Good, and that's exactly what people definitely want to do. There's nothing to me, nothing better than a live performance and hearing good, fun, exciting rock and roll. The EP is entitled Destination Unknown. I mean, the title says a lot. Means, you know, who knows where it's going to take us. Is that what you guys were thinking? Like, just
Right.
go for it?
We didn't know, you know, we're going to release one song digitally and see what happened. We're going to test the waters to see how people felt about it. We don't know where we're going. That's why on the back of the cover, the Angels kind of putting their head down because we didn't know if we were going to have any success whatsoever. And it may have made us sad. So we put the angel putting his head down saying, we don't know if we're going to get there, but we're at least going to try. And that's where that came from.
Well, you guys are doing something well because I see Baltimore Magazine has named Signal 13 as Baltimore's best band. Vicky Starr, one of the best musician vocalists. So those aren't little accolades, I would say, Vicky, for covering the city of Baltimore, the mid-Atlantic region. You must have a great following. So things are looking up. The Angels are on your side, I guess.
We hope so. You never say always. We just got to keep paying homage to everything and staying humble and working and trying to win one fan at a time every time we go out. Because every time you win somebody, they'll tell somebody else, and then they'll bring somebody else, and then it becomes a big crowd that is your fans.
And I'm glad that you also put out the video for Dirty, and that's been the track I've been playing a little bit when I got a copy of the CD. I mean, we live in such a visual world. The video can be seen by a million people everywhere compared to anybody. Not everybody's a Pat that's able to play the new music. Was that the idea of putting the video out? Let's get something out there as well as the song?
Correct. We know that people see with their eyes and they hear with their eyes. So we wanted to put that out there and just see what happened when we released the song as well. We're getting ready to shoot the next video actually this Sunday for Stay With Me, which is another track on that, and Destination Unknown, because we felt great. We've had some good success so far with Dirty, and let's put the next one out there and see what people think of that. It's really important to us to make sure the fans like what they hear, and then we can go out hopefully sometime in the near future, if not with a podcast, like I said, and give some people some live concerts so they can see the whole show and have a good time.
Yeah, and you certainly want to keep building that momentum. I mean, Dirty seems got you. The rocket has launched, so yeah, why not get a second one out there? I mean, we're facing some challenging times, and here you guys released a new EP in April, and here we are in lockdown mode, and I'm sure it's driving you guys crazy that you can't perform in front of a live audience environment. But as I said before we started, thank God that there are bands like yourself that are putting out new music and filling that musical void with the folks sitting home and looking to bite onto something. So as much as there is a challenge with that, I think your decision on putting something out is well worth the start, no doubt.
You know, I think, we didn't even see each other for a month before the EP got released. And we actually finally got to see each other on Saturday this past week because they eased some of the restrictions here in the state of Maryland and said, if you can gather in less than 10, so we met at the studio. But that's the first time we had seen each other in 2 months. And we were so thrilled to just pick up an instrument and start to do some things that we started writing again, and we got together in the studio playing songs, and it was a lot of laughter, and we felt so good. We came back and did it again the next day, and the guys are like, finally, I had a good night's sleep. I feel like we did something, and it was really fun. And we just want to get out there back with our fans and have them all come out and have some fun, because we have to make sure that we put the best effort forward for everyone out there, and thank everyone for supporting us and thanking all the people that have worked so hard during this crisis and continue to work hard to save all the lives out there with this virus. It's been a tragedy.
Yeah, I mean, I think I miss the connection with people. I mean, I'm a people person, and you could be only locked down for so long. I mean, shows or no shows, just to be able to see friends. So I get it. If you got to hang out with the bandmates and even just see and connect with them is a home run and a half. Speaking of the recording process, so obviously all the bandmates, and I'll ask you, go over the list of who's in the band. You mentioned a few. Everybody, the EP was recorded in one location, right? You weren't sending WAV files all over the place. And the reason I ask that is I'm not a musician, but I'm an old school rock and roll person, and I would think that although technology is good and you can send WAV files all across the country, I think you would miss a chance to miss that magic if Jonathan or Patrick or someone said, hey, wait, do this or do that. Am I correct on that thinking, Vicky?
I am. You're absolutely correct. We all stayed in one location in this one studio and recorded everything. And when we got ready to do Stay With Me, I'll tell you the funny story, I hated everything that was being written. So the guys got kind of frustrated with me, and they all sat down on the couch. Pat was sitting in the director's chair, is what I call it, and he said, we're going to roll tape for a few minutes. And it took 17 minutes, 28 seconds, but this 20-second piece of this beautiful music came out, and that was the basis for Stay With Me. And I was like, that's it right there. And the guys are like, it only took us 2 weeks to get this music to where it is. And that's the music and the magic of that, because I call it musical fusion. We have to work together in the same room. We're never as good individually as we are together.
Right, and you got, and obviously, the minute you probably first met everybody, you just know, I guess, like anything else, if that chemistry's there, the personalities, the creative mode, everything, you just get the goosebumps, right? I guess you look around and go, there's something here. I mean, looking at the background, the bios of some of your bandmates, this ain't their first rodeo. They've been around for quite a bit, so they get it. Go, if you don't mind, just give a list again of everybody in the band so we get a quick shout out for those folks as well.
Okay, the drummer for our band is Johnny Stex. Pat Jenkins is the bass player, Chris Starr, rhythm guitar player, and John Lasseter is the lead guitar player.
And you mentioned there's three that are pretty much that handle the creative songwriting process. Is that both lyrically and musically, or everybody just comes to the table with ideas and you guys just jam off of that and just keep working it?
Well, I tend to write all the lyrics and the melodies to the songs. John and Pat tend to they do all of the arrangements. And then we kind of like get in each other's faces. We are brutally honest in a studio. There is no egos. I said, you guys got to set the egos outside the door because when we're in here, and we direct each other. That word's not strong enough. These notes need to be moved here. We have rearranged arrangements 4 times in one session because I'm like, nope, this needs to go to here, and I'll move guitars. And a lot of, guitar players and bass players or musicians that write the music have a hard time with that. And some lyricists have a hard time with that. We don't have that issue because we'll move things around in a heartbeat to make it the song the best song ever. That's what we're trying to do when we release that song. That's what we're trying to do. That's our best product we could put out.
Right. I mean, that's the song is the baby. That's the ultimate goal. It's not about who did what. I mean, you want to get the best product out there. And obviously, again, you have that chemistry. And you guys already threw all the battle lines out there and the rules. And this is what's going to happen. And it's been successful. You got a big following. And hopefully when things go, we get the green light, Vicky, we get you back on the road and get you up here in New York. And hopefully you can partner with somebody and jump on somebody's tour. Any thoughts on your first live show after we get the green light? I mean, we take it for granted. I think my last live concert I went to was like in February. And I look at the pictures and the ticket stubs and stuff like that, and I go, man, I don't even know what we're going to be up to face next. But any thoughts for you in getting in front of the crowd and going, you're going to cry, you're going to go, oh my goodness, or like, let's do it?
Well, the first show we have scheduled right now that we think is going to be a go, and it's still tentative as long as the virus is where it, stays where it is and everything's gone, is on September 26th at the Ranch in Fort Lauderdale, Florida with Slaughter and L.A. Guns is the first one.
Oh, wow, that's great.
And then we're under consideration for a couple other ones in August that we're not going to announce until we're for sure about it yet, but that will start to hopefully open up. We're looking for venues that, like drive-in movie theaters that have ability to be able to keep people 6 feet apart, be able to play music, and they're safe in their cars, and we're up on a stage, and they can listen to us play, things like that, open, air concerts where it's outside. We're tending to look for things like that with the opportunity to play music still.
Well, that's definitely where it seems to be going. I saw Keith Urban do a show for healthcare workers as a thank you at a drive-in theater. People just pulled right up, and you could listen to them in the car, pull out a lawn chair, or, and it's been proven in Denmark already. I mean, I love going to drive-in movies, but hey, if this is what it's going to take, I mean, it works for me. I don't know about meet and greets and all that stuff, but just to see the band and hear the music, I'm all in. So that's good. Any other thing that we can help promote for you, Vicky, at this point? Just keep playing the music?
Come out and play the music. Tell everybody, watch for the next big view of our videos. We're going to be sending them out, and then towards the end of the summer, you should see another one show up out there too. And just keep being safe out there. Let's see your bright and shiny faces here in the near future once everybody's safe again.
There you go. Vicky Starr, the band is called Signal 13. Their website is Signal, as in SIGNAL, 13 as the number, signal13band.com. The EP, Vicky's right on all the digital outlets, Spotify, Apple, all that good stuff. Please buy. Do not just download or go to YouTube and steal it. Buy. Vicky and the band work really hard. The industry has taken enough of a beating, so please go to the website, support Vicky and the band as much as you can. And as Vicky said, they support emergency services and get it. So I can't thank those guys enough, and that means a lot to me. Vicky, I hope you enjoyed the conversation as much as I have.
Oh, very much so. Thank you so much. Stay safe up there. Hopefully the weather will all hold and everybody will do well here in the near future, and keep rocking.
Absolutely. Vicky Starr is Signal 13 on WBXO, where we are classic rock and redefined, and Pat Soundbytes Unplugged.